Hi, welcome back to another devlog about my Metroidvania game Ortomnia Broken Trinity. So since the last video focused more on the journey I already took and about what happened and about what drove me into Gamedev and all that kind of stuff, I wanted to make this video all about Ortomnia Broken Trinity itself and get a little bit more in depth about the game. Instead of just having like an elevator pitch with some inspirations, you know? So I'm currently developing the game with Godot and it's going great, and I'm actually get a lot of things done and it looks quite cool already. I will mostly show what I did a while ago in Unity with the Playmaker visual scripting tool. Because I don't think the stuff I made in Godot is quite ready to show for the public yet. But I will get into it in the next video, I swear. So what exactly is Ortomnia Broken Trinity at all? So Ortomnia will be a 2D Metroidvania. I know, you got that already. You will explore a whole universe. You will jump through space, visiting different worlds which are assembled by animal-like creatures. On these worlds there will be different societies of fantastical species, and in these societies every society has their own story arc, their own plot, their own mystery which is going on in this world. And yeah, there will also be a companion you can find on those worlds with their own story arc to it, which you can progress. And yeah, this companion you can acquire will give you more abilities to move, with more attack abilities. And if you actually finish the quest line of this companion, you will get an ultimate ability. And obviously, to finish the game 100% to get to the good ending, you will need to actually finish all those open quest lines. So those companions hopefully will help you in solving the mystery of this universe, of solving the mystery why the disease is spreading, why everything is going downhill, why the witches are attacking, and there are witches who are attacking indeed. So yeah, that's basically the game. While the movement will have most of what you could expect from a Metroidvania, it will also inherit some more special abilities which will improve the platforming aspect of the game. Also, while the game is obviously inspired by Hollow Knight, I want Ortomnia to feel more open and more speedy, which makes kind of sense because, you know, Hollow Knight is like in a dungeon underground and everything's very narrow, and Ortomnia is in space, which is literally just open, and there is lots of, well, space you can use and explore. So I want to use that to make really cool platforming passages, and for that yeah, I wanted to implement a little bit of more uncommon movement mechanics for Metroidvanias. Well, you could say nowadays every movement mechanic kind of is common because there are quite some Metroidvanias doing it, but still. So the little bit more classic stuff is obviously like the jump. You have a double jump, you can slide on the wall, you can grab onto the wall, you can jump from the wall, lots of stuff with walls, you can dash, obviously. So yeah, the more uncommon stuff will be probably the gliding mechanic. Well, nowadays you could say there are quite some Metroidvanias with gliding mechanics, but there will be a gliding mechanic which will be awesome because, you know, I already told you there's a lot of space, you can glide really far, you can move very fast, there will be winds which will accelerate you, there will be quite a lot of environmental stuff you can utilize with that. Also, there will be like a grappling hook light. It's not actually a grappling hook. You can't grapple onto any surface, but there will be some fixed spots in the world, in the game design, in the levels, which you can call a companion up on, and who will lift you up into the air, who will accelerate you into the air big time. And yeah, which will basically act like a mini grappling hook, I guess. So yeah, as you probably expected by now, most of the power-ups are attached to the companions you can find. So while you get movement abilities like the dash ability, the grappling hook mechanic, the gliding mechanic, and the wall jump stuff by the companions, they also provide an unique attack spell, which is pretty straightforward. Like you get to know the companion and you will get the spell, but you actually need to finish their unique quest line, the unique thing in the world, the mystery in the world you have to solve to actually get to the ultimate ability. And yeah, these abilities are actually quite interesting because those can break walls into each direction. Every companion will have a different direction and can fly a little bit like the crystal dash into a direction, break the walls, and open new areas. Also, there will be one ultimate which will make you completely immovable, but also completely invincible. So yeah, maybe there are some places in the world you can only get through while being in the state. Yeah, the attack system is probably what's most inspired by Hollow Knight because it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty snappy. There is an attack in each direction. You can get upgrades for the attacks, and obviously you can pogo, because what's a Metroidvania nowadays without the ability to pogo by attacking straight downwards. You will also be able to unlock strong attacks, charged attacks. Yeah, Hollow Knight got one too, but that's actually different. So hear me out, please. So yeah, you can charge the attack while holding the attack button, but you will be able to find different weapons actually, which are spread across the worlds, which were yielded by fellow guardians of the worlds who have died, who have fallen. And yeah, you can actually find their weapons. You can get a little bit of lore about them. You can then bring the weapons back to the hub area, to another NPC, and then you can inherit the attack this guardian of the world had. Like the strong attack will actually change, so you have quite a bit of variety in choosing your playstyle. There was the idea that this would be possible with the normal attack too, which is still a very cool idea, which I'd like to explore more, but I have a little bit of feeling that that's pretty scope creepy, because you know my game is completely hand-drawn, 2D hand-drawn animations, and I have done quite a bit of animations already for the character, for the protagonist, for the little ghost, and yeah, it's quite a lengthy process. And when I want to utilize this mechanic of having different weapons, different attacks you can use, that's a shit ton of work. And well, so it's an idea which I want to explore further, but for now it's on the waiting list. But the charged attack actually is a thing. So yeah, different charged attacks you can find. Yes. Later in the game you will actually find a poorly story-driven spell, which is actually a shout. This was inspired by Journey and the song kind of stuff you do in Gris. With the ability to shout, you can actually highlight important things in the world, which inherits more secrets, inherits more lore, inherits a mystery, which will be highlighted then. Also, if you're in space, you can actually make secret passages visible with this shouting spell, which is like a circle-shaped thing which goes further away from the protagonist. I'm bad in English, I'm sorry. So yeah, you have fight abilities, you have cool abilities, you have spell attacks, you have attacks, but what if you get hit? Obviously you need to heal yourself. So yes, you have a healing spell, which is basically just an instant full heal. That sounds maybe overpowered. It's not though. You will have very low health in general, and the mana system is also not that forgiving, so you really have to be strategic with your resources, and the instant full heal needs quite a little bit of mana. There are quite a lot of spells. Obviously I have a mana spell in place which will be resembled by the crystal on the forehead of the protagonist. Yeah, the mana system will have different glow states of the crystal basically. So one crystal is 100% mana, and a spell, for example, uses 25%. There are also spells like the ultimates or the healing spell which will use the entire glow state of one crystal. So one full crystal of mana will be used. While the story progresses, you will get more glowing states for the crystal, so you have more mana, more resources you can actually use. When you actually used up the mana, the only way to gain it is by charging your mana. The idea is that the protagonist sucks the wisdom of the world, the secrets of the world, the life energy of the universe back into itself, which will then fill up the crystal. So yeah, you need to stay still in place, locked in place, so you really need to be in a safe place, which will be quite tricky using boss fights or something else. So it actually rewards strategic placement and getting to know the enemies, so you can place yourself into a safe spot and then get a little bit of mana back to heal yourself or to use that one spell which you really like. There's actually, to the mana system, there's actually another spell attached to it, which is also a story-driven spell. I told you with the first story-driven spell, which will be called Mother's Call, by the way. So yeah, the cry ability, the shout ability, Mother's Call, which highlights interactable objects and objects which have secrets in them. So if your glow state, if your crystal is completely filled up and you decide to keep sucking the wisdom, sucking the life energy from the universe into yourself, you will actually gain that wisdom from the area. So if there are objects which have secrets in them, they will be triggered, and there will be a dialogue box get triggered, there will be animations triggered, maybe there will be even a secret fight be triggered. So yeah, as you can probably tell already, Ortomnia will be quite a bit of a story-driven game. So the companions you can find, the worlds they live on, everything has their own story, and it was in the concepting phase quite a big, huge chunk of concepting the game, just crafting good stories, crafting an overarching story which happens in the universe with the characters, with the mother, with the magician, with the divine beings, with the witches, the companions, the protagonist, but also those little stories in the worlds itself, which are as important, if not more important, than the big plot of the game. Obviously there is also lore and stuff, so it's really quite, story is a big thing. That's why I call it a narrative-focused Metroidvania, because it's a lot about the story and how it will be told. There are quite some different approaches to it. So yeah, we have the Souls-like approach with the environmental storytelling, which is obviously a thing, which is also really cool, which I will be utilized too, mostly with items like the weapons from the fellow Guardians of the Worlds, or with the threads you can find and attach to your armor, which will be used like power-ups, but also have their own story with them. But I also want to have a more straightforward approach to storytelling, unlike, for example, Hollow Knight or the Souls-like genre in general, because it's quite obscure and it's not as inviting as I want it to be, and I don't think it you can utilize a story completely only with it. So I want to incorporate more visual novel aspects of the game, which also quite some Metroidvanias decided to do, with a big dialogue box, with animations, with a character portrait. But I really want to focus in these emotions in these deep characters, which have their own experiences in the world, their own reasons they do things, their own thoughts about why everything in this universe is going downhill, their own little fights to fight. Yeah, there's quite a bit to tell. For this video, I decided to not get too deep into the story aspect of the game though, because I'm quite torn if I want to spoil actually the story itself or the lore itself. I'm still thinking about it. If I want to do it, I will probably do it in a separate video, which will be focused completely about it, because it's actually worth having a completely own video, in my opinion. So thanks for staying with me and listening to what Ortomnia will be about. I'm looking forward that the next video won't take 6 months because I'm hard at work in Godot implementing all of the stuff I talked about, or at least some of the stuff I talked about, and I'm hyped to show some of that to you. Yeah, see you at the next video. Bye!